As a cybersecurity research organization, we are constantly asked questions about how people can protect themselves online. In this video, we'll cover 9 layers of steps you can use to keep hackers out of your accounts and off your device. Level 1. Use strong and unique passwords. You've no doubt heard about entropy rules and that you should use long passwords with letters, numbers, special characters, etc. But when you use these characters in predictable ways like Summerman 2024, you create a much weaker password than the same characters randomly shuffled into this. Beyond that, there are 2 major factors that set strong passwords apart from a random string of characters. First, passwords should be unique. Even a perfect password may occasionally be leaked or intercepted. By using separate passwords across accounts, you prevent one breach from affecting all of your accounts. Finally, an ideal password is memorable. This is because the best place to store a password is where no one can steal it, inside your head. While password managers do provide the benefit of conveniently keeping strong passwords in one place, they also serve to create a single point of failure, where one leak compromises all of your accounts. Because most people can't keep all that unique information in their heads, it usually ends up being a better solution to rely on a password manager for most accounts, while keeping your most important passwords stored only in your mind. Level 2. Multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication prevents attackers from being able to steal your accounts, even if your password has been leaked. And this is achieved by separating authentication factors into multiple categories, such as something you know, something you have, something you are. A password should be something you know, a piece of information that is memorized. So we want to add in other categories to create multi-factor authentication. An example of something you have could be SMS verification, which relies on having your cell phone in order to receive a one-time password during login. Something you are might be biometric authentication, such as fingerprint, facial, or retinal scan. This is the number 1 thing that will prevent basic breaches, even if you have poor password security. Level 3. Keep your software updated. Just days ago, at the time of making this video, CVE 2025-48593 was patched, which was a no-click RCE in modern versions of the Android operating system. A no-click RCE means someone could take over your device without any interaction from you. Vulnerabilities like this are discovered and introduced constantly, and information about them is published on the internet within days of disclosure. This information is freely available to anyone on the internet and not very hard to find at that. Level 4. Only enter your credentials into domains you trust. For this level, we need to take a look at how our URL is structured. Given this URL, we first see the protocol scheme is using HTTPS. The subdomain is app.google. The second level domain is We Love Developers. The top level domain is com. And finally, the path is google.com. Some of you may believe that this is a domain owned by Google. However, that is not true. Websites can put any name they want in both the subdomain and the path. The only 2 sessions you need to care about as far as security goes are the second level domain and the top level domain. In this case, welovedevelopers.com is the domain, and this has nothing to do with Google or their services. Modern browsers will often highlight only the domain, which makes it easy to pick out. Beyond this, you have to be wary of sites using other techniques such as typo squatting, where they choose a name very close but spelled wrong. If you're using outdated software, there are even other attacks such as ID and homograph attacks, where they use characters that look the same but lead you to a different host. Level 5. Only enter sensitive information over HTTPS. The HTTP protocol that most of the internet runs on transfers data completely in plaintext. Most of the time, this means that anyone within radio Wi-Fi range can sniff the packets that your device is trying to send to the router and see every detail that was sent. HTTPS is a version of HTTP which runs over the Transport Layer Security Protocol in order to safely encrypt communications during transit. Always ensure that you are using HTTPS when possible, and never trust sending your credentials across HTTP, especially in public settings. Level 6. Isolate your accounts. Earlier, we mentioned how using separate passwords can prevent a single breach from affecting all of your accounts. But what happens if someone was to gain access to a recovery email? They could simply claim that the password had been forgotten and change the account details as they needed. To avoid this, you can take advantage of this isolation technique for more than just your passwords. Having a separate email for a critical account, like one used to access banking details, can be a strong way to apply this. Not only does this protect you, but it also makes it easy to know where a breach originates and exactly which companies you might want to avoid in the future for their poor security practices. Level 7. Don't save browser cookies. Cookies are a way for websites to keep track of session data as a user moves across separate pages. Unfortunately, browsers like to default to saving these cookies permanently even when the browser is closed. Most users find this to be an ultimate convenience, preventing them from having to log in every time they want to use an account. What most people don't know is that this convenience comes at the cost of security. There are multiple vulnerability classes that take advantage of session cookies in order to harm a user without their knowledge. Cross-site request forgery is a prime example where attackers forge a malicious request and trick a user into running it. Because the user is already logged in via a session cookie, their accounts can be compromised with just the click of a link, no need to enter any account details. While you may not want to lose the convenience that these provide, we would strongly recommend not allowing your browser to save cookies for critical accounts. Level 8. Many sites will post a hash value associated to files they host, so the user can verify the integrity of the file they downloaded. In common parlance, you can tell whether the data you received is the same data the website claims to host. If someone were to act as a man in the middle, intercepting the traffic that you send and receive, they could tamper with the response you get from the website. By using an algorithm known as a checksum, you can create a hash of the data before allowing it to run on your device. Generally, hashes are unique numbers that represent some data. If the attacker has tampered with the data you received, the hash value will be completely different. Level 9. Sandboxing software. A sandbox is a type of application that can execute software safely without endangering your device. Professionals use sandboxes to analyze even the most dangerous of malwares safely. And provided one is correctly configured, it can be a convenient way to test and even actively use applications that might try to harm you. The most common type of sandbox used for this purpose is a virtual machine. But even applications you use every day, like a web browser, may have sandboxes embedded in them to protect your machine from being harmed. Obviously, this video is not completely exhaustive, but for most people, a few of these techniques is enough to fully cover your bases. Should we make another video talking about paranoid level techniques? We could cover anything from professional standards like air gapping, to those so niche that they border more on theoretical, like routing requests directly to IPs to avoid DNS poisoning. Or if you want to see something else, let us know in the comments or our Discord. And until next time, stay vigilant.